Hopefully, it does not disconnect me, and hopefully all the audio is working. Okay, so all right, we're just going to turn the volume up. No, if I turn the volume off, I can barely hear my voice on the other. Yeah, mute that one. Okay, perfect. So I can live with this. It's not perfect, but I can live with this. All right, so. Let's see if this works. I don't know if this is going to work. But, all right. We're back. I know the screen's kind of small, but. So the Dubuque Fighting Saints traded up to number 8. Dubuque. The Dubuque Fighting Saints moved up to number 8. And I'll set something up on TalkShoe so we go live at 6:30. And the Sioux City Musketeers acquired 13. So, So I went into the iPad, I turned the stream off, I resized the screen on my iPad, and it looks a lot better. The audio still does look a little bit choppy, but I can live with this. This is much better. Okay, now it's perfect. Now it is perfect. Okay. So did I do an OHL draft stream? No, I did not. I did 3 drafts are better than 1. I did not do an OHL draft stream on TalkShoe. Okay. I will do an NHL lottery stream. But I want to set this up. I want to set up the first round first, you know. I want to get the picks in, get everything set up. Colin Grubb Colin Grubb did have 102 points in 2023-2024. He only had 56 points in 54 games, but he still averaged a point per game. And, you know, Shattuck St. Mary's, they are a powerhouse. I'm not sure I'm going to give that. And what year is Colin Grubb? Colin Grubb is 2027. Okay. I do like this player. I'm going to give this an A. I'm not going to give it an A plus, but I do like Colin Grubb. And then Nash Road. Nash Road's a left winger, and I believe he's a 2028 prospect. Yeah, November 29th, 2009. That means he's not going to be ready. So Nash Road's in the 2028 draft with Nash Road is going to be in the 2028 draft with Maddox Schultz. And a lot could happen. So we do have a 2028 prospect. Nash Road, he had 25 points in 27 games at White Bear Lake High School as a freshman. So, I mean, we'll see. Do think it's probably a reach, but hey. But yeah, Nash Road, the left winger, went 9th overall to Waterloo. Sioux Falls Stampede have number 12. Yeah, so I'm not. I'll set up a lottery show on TalkShoe, but I'm not going to set up a. Ethan Sung. But he got overwhelmed against tougher competition. I do think that's a sign of Yeah, Danil Booten. Booten had. I'll give that a B plus. Or a B, not a B plus. I'll give that a B. Solid B. And then Landon Jackman. Yeah, so that's the first round. And, you know, I'll get the write-up for but we don't have a lot of time. And I am gonna set up the thing on TalkShoe. You're probably only gonna get 2 write-ups done. I'll share the rest of them. I promise you guys, we'll set up the yeah, and there is talks about expanding. All right, so we've set up the NHL draft lottery here. And yeah, as you can see, only 1 grade up. I am going to get the Scantleberry grade up, and then I'll set up the thumbnail for TalkShoe, because Scantleberry, there is one 2028 prospect. So even though my 2028 vocabulary is very narrow outside of Maddox Schultz, there is one player in this draft that could be a 2028 prospect. But, you know, Thaddeus McMahon's a guy who could move into the first round. If he turns around Omaha, he could move into the first round. Because right now, with what I am seeing, the 2028 2027 USHL draft is going to be very forward heavy. There were only 2 defensemen in the first round of the OHL draft. There were only 2 defensemen in the first round of the USHL draft. And I know the first 3 picks in the 2024 WHL draft were all defensemen. So 2027 looks very forward heavy. And I haven't done a lot of in-depth scouting, but I've done enough scouting to where I can get a feel for this. And I could say this 2027 is going to be forward heavy. It's going to be another forward heavy draft like the Connor McDavid one in 2023. So Scantlebury could end up going number 1 in 2027. I don't know how many of these will get up. I'd like to keep going, but I don't think I can keep going. And believe me, I will stream this on Saturday. We will go over this on Saturday. Maybe no. Here's what we'll do. We will do a USHL draft recap leading up to the Western Hockey League draft on Wednesday. Okay? We'll do a little USHL draft recap show at the beginning before we get into. That way you guys can see our write-up, see our work, and then we'll that's what we'll do. I think that's a fair compromise. We can still go over some of these players, but yeah, because there's 16 write-ups. I'm just not going to get 16 write-ups done before 7, and I have to get a thumbnail up. I do. The NHL lottery's in 15 minutes. I got to get a thumbnail up for that, so I am going to end this stream here. Only 23 minutes, a little bit shorter than you'd like, but Scantlebury and Rocco Pelosi are the 2 headline players. They're the 2 headline players in this USHL draft. And what's interesting is the USHL, the NHL is basically telling the USHL, you need to expand your league. You need to get to 32 teams. You need to get to 40, maybe 40 teams. But branch. And I'm just worried that that's going to saturate the quality of star power in the USHL. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. They've gone from they've narrowed their list down from 25 potential cities to 24. And that's great, but you can't pick all 24 of those cities. You got a 16-team league if you count the U.S. national team. I know the USHL doesn't count the U.S. national team, but here's the thing. The U.S. national team, you got Logan Cooley. You got all these superstars that play on the U.S. national team in Detroit, in Michigan. They count as a team. They might have the U.S. under 18, the under 16, and under 17 teams and all this bullshit. They're an entity. They count as a team. They're one of the 16 teams in the USHL because they play the other 15 USHL teams regularly. So they count. They count as far as I'm concerned. So you have 16 teams, and you've narrowed your expansion list down from 25 to 24. So what you want to do is you want to take that 24 and narrow that down to 12. And then pick 6 of the 12 on that list. Pick 6 of the 12 cities on that list and start slowly bringing teams into those markets. But you don't want to pick all 12. You don't want to pick all 6 teams this year. You don't bring all 6 teams in the league this year. You bring 2 teams in this year and then 2 as it progresses. And that's how you go about this. But expansion is coming to the USHL. I wish I could give you more picks. I just don't have that type of time on my hands. The NHL draft's in 15 minutes. I'm getting ready for that. And, I promise you I'll commit to doing these write-ups. I will finish all 16 of these write-ups before I start my NHL mock draft. I will. I will commit myself to that. Okay? I will. But like I said, Scantlebury, right now, he the de facto challenger to Everett Silvertip's defense, a heavy favorite to go number one. I mean, he had 50 points. I think he had 50 points as a rookie defenseman, which is pretty rare. But yeah, Scantlebury, I think Scantlebury, Rocco Pelosi, and Caden McGregor, and those are the four guys we have to watch, because I think those four centers are going to come off the board. It just depends on what order they come off the board in, you know? And I do think he has a shot. No, cancel. I said cancel. We're not reloading. I meant I screwed something up. As far as the typing, as far as the grammar goes, I screwed something up. But yeah, Thaddeus McMahon went number one, and James Scantlebury went number two. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But yeah. So yeah, I'm going to get ready for the NHL draft, but I will get the other 14 picks up as soon as the draft's over. I might actually code those while the lottery's going on.